Oh!
Oh! What the hell? What'd you slam your brake on for? You muppet, learn to drive! Oh, I'm really sorry, fella. I just saw you had the same car as me in the mirror, and I just thought it'd be a really cool video if Saving Salvage could fix one of them out of both. I don't know about you, does your neck really hurt? Now, I'm going to answer the question that everyone wants to know, and is it cheaper to buy 2 crash damaged cars and fix them and make one good one, rather than just buying second-hand parts and just fixing the one car? And to test this theory, please welcome the second car. So we have here 2 identical white Audi TT 2-litre petrol, both DSG. They are literally identical, even down to the year and the mileage of the car. So we're going to try and make one good one out of both these cars, but first of all we need to decide which one is the best car to use. So now you're starting to see why this should work quite well. We have the front end smashed on that one and the rear end smashed on this one. So the first thing we need to do is just work out which one is going to be our parts car and which one we are going to build up to be a nice finished product. Now on the face of it, you'd probably say that this one has less overall damage. It looks like quite a minor rear impact. Well, I say minor, a rear impact, but doesn't look as bad as that one. But I'm going to tell you why this one is going to be a lot harder to fix, even though there's less to fix. And that is because if we lift up the rear boot here, the bumper backs straight on to the body panels of the car. And as you can see, look, the body panels have been completely pushed right inwards. And as you can see there, it's creased all this quarter panel. This is all creased here, look. So this whole quarter panel, and you can see there, look, where it's creased as well, look. So this whole quarter panel here would actually need replacing, probably up to here as well. There may be a crease in this side. Can't see from here, but certainly the back plate as well and the floor panel as well, we can see that is all creased up. So to replace all these body panels would be major surgery basically, so it's going to be a lot harder to fix. Whereas the front end on this one should just all be bolt-on parts. So the only thing we need to really worry about is this chassis leg here. But I have had a quick look, it all looks nice and straight and isn't bent or anything like that. So all this should be bolt-on. So we can remove it from this one and just stick it onto that one. But we do have some other things missing or damaged on this one. We have a damaged windscreen, our bonnet's damaged, gas struts on the bonnet as well. And if we move on to the interior, all our airbags have gone off in here, even the side curtain airbags, steering airbag and the dash as well. Luckily though, the seats look to be okay. And also this doesn't run. I'm guessing the pyro fuse is gone. Should hopefully be an easy fix on this car. Neither car actually runs. This car, I don't actually even have a key for it. Luckily the handbrake wasn't on. I have just managed to get it into neutral so it rolls backwards and forwards, but that is literally all I can do with it. But as you can see, look, all the airbags are all good. Steering wheel, dash, curtain airbags. So we will be taking all that from this car and sticking it in that one. But the first problem we're going to have is starting this one. But because all the airbags have gone off, I'm guessing, yeah, it doesn't start. And that's because the pyro fuse is gone. So I think the first order of play should be to get this car running, which means we need to take the pyro fuse out, which I believe in this is nice and easy. It's in here just beside the battery, and we need to replace it with the pyro fuse on this car. I assume it hasn't gone off because all the bare bags and everything are all fine, so we can just take it straight from that one and stick it in this one. Now, it was really simple to get to the pyro fuse on this. It is literally just down the side of the battery. We need to remove a few 10mm screws and nuts to get the fuses off, and then it is just on the underside, and you need to remove the airbag connection, and there it is, look, just held in with 2 13mm nuts. Now, we need to do the exact same thing to the other car as well, take the pyro fuse off, and then fit it all back on. And in between that, we will need to hook up the computer because there will be a code for crash shut off, and it will be active, so we need to remove that so the car doesn't think there's a crash anymore. We've definitely got no water, but let's just check we have oil. We have oil, so let's go for a start. So now, foot on the brake, it should start, he says. There we go. Huh, okay, let's start. Well, it starts, but then it cuts out. It's weird. Well, anyway, it does start. Why is it cut out for? Okay, something's not right at the front there. Well, I promise I didn't do anything. I just quickly had a look to see why it wouldn't be starting. I just took off the engine cover. I thought maybe the intake manifold flap there had been compromised. Couldn't really see anything else though, so I just thought I'd try it again to see if I could see anything quickly from the front. And now all of a sudden it's just started running and seems to be okay. So engine good, which is obviously a good thing because I didn't know it was good at the time that I bought it. Right, the weather can't make up its mind what it's doing at the minute, so let's get the drivable TT into the workshop and I reckon we'll start stripping that first. So with the car in the air, we shall start with the obvious, and that is the bonnet. And with that out of the way, I found the locking wheel key and we can take off both front wheels and then start removing the wheel arch liner, which gives us access to the bumper, and we can start taking the bumper off, which will then obviously reveal the rest of the damage. But at this point, I'm pretty sure the whole thing's just going to fall off anyway. I'm a bit sceptical because I think this whole bumper's about to fall on me. I'm not going to lie. I think it is. Right, I'm kind of holding it up. Right, I think it's about full. Yeah, kinda. Oh, I think it's still part of the bumper, that's why. Yeah, it is. That's why I've still got part of the bloody bumper. Oh God! And just a reminder from the last video, guys, the Audi RS Q3 with 400 horsepower is now available on Compete for Cars for just £2.50. So click the link in the description, head over and grab your tickets. There's still a few days left. Right, well that's now on the floor. So that's that. And now we'll try and get the under tray off. A few more bolts. So bear with. Now you're probably noticing this car's been hit into thousands of pieces. There's just plastic trims, even metal trims broken everywhere. But we need to get the offside headlight off and the bracket, which are all bent up and mashed. Bolts hidden as well. We need to get that off to be able to get the rest of the front end off. And there's 8 16mm bolts holding the crash bar on. A little bit of tension in that, but that's only because it's just been bent inwards and snapped. But once we've got those off, then the whole thing should just come off. This has been proper here. I haven't seen a car broken into as many bits for quite some time. And then to get the rest of the rad pack off, there's just a few more bolts I need to undo. Aircon pipes, obviously there's no gas in there. There's a bonnet cable and there's a few more bolts just on the top. And last but not least, of course it gets caught. Why wouldn't it get caught? Stupid thing. There is a lot broken on this, not gonna lie. A front end would not have been enough. And that is why buying a second car is definitely gonna be beneficial. Now this is actually quite a mess. There is a lot of broken parts here. And I think now looking at the front of the engine, our gamble may have just paid off with the second car because there is just a lot more broken parts here. So we have a boost pipe here broken. We have this got a split in it. Yeah, that's, oh actually, is that broken as well? Yeah, that looks like our intake pipe going to the turbo is also broken. Additional water pump broken. Water pump in there actually broken as well. Aircon pipe cracked there, look, which actually goes the full length into the car. Airbox broken. This top coolant pipe broken. I'm pretty sure this aircon pipe is bent as well, so that'll probably need replacing too. We have another split pipe here. And I'm sure there's something else as well. Horn's broken. That's the headlights, that's fine. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a few bits of wiring that we need to replace as well, which we can take from the other car. Oh yeah, the other intercooler pipe as well, that's broken. That's okay. That is also broken here, look. So there is a lot of other stuff. It's not just as simple as a front end. So you're looking at a lot of other parts that wouldn't have been included in the front end, probably another 500 to 700, maybe even a little bit more than that, pounds worth of extra parts, which obviously we can take off our donor car. So that is a massive plus for the donor car so far. Now, although the chassis leg isn't bent, I do need to use my persuading stick just to straighten up this end plate again so we can bolt the new crash bar back on. So, they're quite flimsy, so. Bit more. That's good, that one. Beautiful. Right, it's finally stopped raining. The ground is kind of dry, so I think I'm gonna have to use this opportunity here to now start taking off the front end of this one. As I said earlier, I can't move the car, so all I can do is move it backwards and forwards. So I do have to work on this one completely outside. So, although I've just felt a bit of rain in my ear, it's not meant to rain today, I've just checked. So I'm just gonna crack on and do what I can before it starts raining again. Literally just started raining as soon as I said that. I hate this weather. It's middle of June. Sort it out, you crap. So I guess with it still raining outside, I'll just crack on with this one in the workshop, and I'm gonna start by taking the near side front wing off. We need to remove it anyway, and there's also the washer bottle in there as well, and a few trims at the top we need to get out of the way. I've worked it out by mistake. I just had to lift it up, I think. There we go. So it's just on a hook. Screen wash everywhere. So with the washer bottle now out the way, we can now get to the remaining screws for the wing and then pull that out the way. And that also gives us good access to our bonnet hinges as well, which also has an airbag connection, and we can just take that straight off too. And luckily, my aircon pipes in the front do not go all the way to the bulkhead. There is a little join here just by the washer bottle. So luckily, two 10mm nuts and those pipes can just fiddle out and they'll be easy to replace. So with most of the front end now apart from the few bits on the engine, I'm going to turn my attention to the interior whilst it's still raining outside. Now, I'll be honest, this is my least favourite part. It's just so fiddly. Your hands get torn to shreds doing this, and I've never done a TT dash as well, so I don't know where all the screws are, so it's going to be trial and error. No doubt we're going to have to take out the centre console, steering wheel, drop the headlining as well to get to these side airbags here. And then obviously, yeah, take the whole dashboard out to replace that main airbag there. The seats look to be okay. Airbags haven't gone in these. We will have to also replace the seat belts with the other ones as well. So we're gonna have to take this trim off too. So I'm gonna put it on just one long time lapse because no doubt I'll be swearing quite a lot. And swearing I did indeed. Now, there wasn't much help online about the Mark III TT dashboard, so it was a bit trial and error, and inevitably I did break a few trims, but I did do it knowing that I had spare trims if I needed them anyway. So passenger seat out, driver seat out, just to give me as much room as possible to do what I need to do. And yeah, remove the rear trims to find out that the rear passenger and rear driver's seat belts had also gone as well. So not sure if there were a full car of passengers in this car when it crashed or not, but luckily the one trim covered both seat belts, so it wasn't any additional work to remove that. Now onto the dashboard, it took me about an hour to work out. I do need to remove the center console because it is kind of hooked into the dash, and just trying to work out how to remove everything was an absolute pain in the ass. And getting the glove box out was also a pain in the ass because it's got the multimedia unit in there as well, and there's about 20,000 connections on the back of it that you need to do. And that is kind of the theme with this car. There's just so many screws, so many connections to undo everything, and I dread how it's all going to go back together. There we go. Right. I don't know if it's just going to be easy to get this completely out of the way. Might be alright as it is. Right, that was a pain in the ass. I may, once I've got this dash out, just tell you where all the bolts are, because I did have a look online and there is literally nothing that really tells you how to take it out. Like for these, for instance, these just pop out like that, so they're not too hard to do. Luckily, you don't have to pull the entire headlining down to remove the side airbag. You just have to fold it out the way a little bit. I'm going to have to cut this back seat belt because it's pulled so tight, I can't actually get the trim out to then remove the bolts. So, look, it's gone that tight that it's pulled an indent in the trim. So with that trim removed, I can now remove the bolt holding on the passenger side airbag. And with that all out the way, we can turn our full attention now to the dashboard. So I've just found the 2 bolts that I was missing, which is why the whole dash wouldn't come out, and you're not going to believe where they are. This is ridiculous. So they are right in the windscreen. See down there, see the bolt? And I can't even show you on camera. That's how out of the way and hidden it was, right in one of those holes, and there's one each side. What an absolute pain. Why? What arsehole designed that? There's just no need for that. So hopefully now the dash should, there you go, it's a bit looser now. Right, let me get 2 hands. So this here is mainly just a clip of me losing the will to live. Honestly. So small bit of advice for anyone wanting to take a dash out on a TT8S Mark III. Yeah, don't bother. What an absolute arse of a job. But then I guess it's like most things. Once you've done it 1 or 2 times, it will become pretty simple. But with not much information online to help find the bolts, it was an absolute nightmare. So I'm going to very quickly just show you where all the bolts were in case you were looking at doing it yourself. So there's 2 arsehole bolts up here, look, just in the top of the frame for the dash. We had bolts for the dashboard, 1 was here, and there was 2 underneath for the dash clocks, literally just 1 there and 1 the other side of the steering column. We had about 4 bolts in the center console. You can see 2 at the back here, and then there's 1 in the center console bit here. This whole center console trim, those bolts at the back here, I think 4, and you lift it up from the back and pull the whole thing out. And then you have 1 bolt up here where the speaker trim is. So you have to pull the center speaker out to get to that. You've got 1 on each end of the dash panel, which is the same on the other side. You've got the ones here, the bolt here, where just under the airbag. And then you've got another one here. And then you've got a couple of brackets which you need to undo off these bits here, which stay on the dash panel itself. And then you've got 1 at the bottom, which is where the glove box was, so you don't have to worry about that once you've got the glove box out. And then there's that one just there. So once you've done all those, it should then just pull out very awkwardly because there's so many wires that are connected as well. Even stupid things like wiring loom just plugged, like secured into the dash that you have to try and get out. And also the speaker wire here, I have no idea how I'm going to get that back in. You just got to pay attention to that. But you can just see the absolute mess. I've never seen so many trims in my life. There's just absolute mess, carnage everywhere. And the reason I'm not that bothered about this car is because it was the test car. I have broke a few panels, nothing major, but I did it knowing that I'm about to take more panels off another car more delicately, and I can use those, and I know how to take them off without breaking them now. So I guess we're 1/3 of the way through. We've stripped down 1 car, got all the parts off it that are broken. The main downside I'm now seeing from doing this with a donor car is the fact that I'm going to have to do all what I've just done with this dash panel again, more delicately, to obviously remove that to put it into this one. So yeah, major downside coming to light is, I guess, labour. So I'm going to do a little tally on this one, and we're going to work out by the end of it if it was worth it, and I will try and work out labour costs, additional labour costs to obviously remove the second dashboard, and we'll try and factor that in to see if it was worth it. So we have obviously TT plus TT, numero uno, costing £4,300, and that is the one I've just stripped, so the one actually we're going to use. And the far more expensive one, the parts car, was actually £7,200, which is actually quite a lot, but I did explain that I didn't want to take the risk of someone else winning it. So that was all in. So at the minute we're obviously at 11.5 grand there. So 11.5 total spend at the minute. I do foresee that this car here, once it's all fixed, being worth about 13 grand. So we should be 1,500 quid up straight away. However, we are going to be selling this one once we've taken all the parts off it, because there's still thousands and thousands of pounds worth of parts on it that will be useful to someone else. Engine, gearbox, suspension, brake, there's loads of stuff. So it's all really going to depend on how much we can sell this car for once we've taken off what we need. And then in the next video, we're going to find out the additional costs that we have had to have bought for parts that wouldn't have been included in parts that I could have bought without the donor car, if that makes sense. So that's what we're up to so far. So here's my rubbish pile, all the bits that I don't need that have come off the car, including the bonnet over there. There is still a few bits I need to remove from the engine, but as I said, we'll do that once we strip the other one off. There is a windscreen that needs replacing too. Now you'll be pleased to see that I've had a little tidy up. I've got my trims out here all ready to go. And I've also had a little tidy up in the interior, all hoovered, all bits out, so we are ready to reinstall. But now the really bad news for me is I've got to go and do this all over again completely, and I've got to put it all back in that one as well. So yeah, that second that donor car's not looking as appealing right now. So guys, luckily it is dry outside. I'm going to end the video here and I'm going to start on this one. In the next video, I'm going to try and release it either Sunday or Monday. We're going to get this whole front end off, put it on the new one, and get that new one back on the road 100% complete. And this one, we'll find out how much we can sell it for. But for now, wish me luck. Cheers guys.